Greetings, great ed world. We are live with Lisa here around lunch hour, right? You're probably grabbing a snack and want to get back to work soon. But in the meantime, I am so glad that Lisa and I are able to jump on and get going live. We have a ridiculous amount of things to share, and we want to jump right into it. This summer has been full of surprises, signatures, students, sessions, all the above, right? So I noticed some things at the grocery stores, at festivals this summer. A lot of people trying to get me to sign my
Right.
name on the dotted line. And as a Colorado resident and voter, a lot of things to discuss. What is
Sure.
your summation of the summers? What's the status,
That
Lisa?
is a great question. So at the beginning of the summer, when everybody was out collecting, we were watching, I think it was 15 potential ballot measures that would have been really devastating to public education. That and as time has gone by, we've been really happy to see some of those were pulled. Like some of the sort of irresponsible tax cuts that would have really hurt our school funding. I think they knew that wasn't going to pass, and that's really hopeful. It's like turning a corner where people are understanding that we pool our resources to do good things for our communities, like our schools. So a lot of those fell away, and now we're down to three ballot measures that would all be really harmful for public schools. Um, Two of them would be property tax cuts that are really just would be devastating, not just to schools, but to fire districts and libraries and cities and counties. That's Initiative 50 and Initiative 108. And those have both qualified for the ballot. And then there's another one that's they're just looking at right now, the counting, making sure that the signatures are sufficient for Initiative 138. That is basically the gateway to vouchers for Colorado, and going down this road has just been devastating in a whole lot of other states, including Arizona. Really privatizing schools and taking money away from public schools. So that's where it stands right now at 11:27 on August 20th. But things can change.
Things can change, can't they? So right now you're saying they are counting signatures for uh 138.
Right.
And so what happens if there are enough signatures?
If there are enough signatures, Initiative 138 will be put on the ballot. And this is one that's changing the Constitution. So they had to gather the right amount of signatures from all over the state. So that's what the Secretary of State's office is doing right now, is making sure that they met that burden. And it'll have to pass with 55% because it's a constitutional measure. One thing that I need to always tell people is when it's on the ballot, it will not be 138. This is the crazy thing. When you have a ballot that's just being initiative being proposed, it's one number. When it gets qualified, it's another number. And this will be amendment some number, and we'll be sure to let you know what that number is and why you absolutely, if you believe in public education, have to vote no on that ballot measure.
So if they are getting the right amount of signatures, what's going on with where are we at with some issues? And you said it could impact schools, tax cuts and all that, but is there anything that might stop this in its tracks?
Well, if 138 has the right number of signatures from all over the state, it's going to be on the ballot, and we're going to have to work really hard to defeat it. This idea of taking public money and putting it into private schools has got to stop. We have to stop it in its tracks in Colorado. The other two, 50 and 108, are already on the ballot, but they're talking about having a special session next week to make a deal on property taxes to take those two. The deal would be that if the legislature already cut property taxes by about $1 billion at the end of the last session. they protected public education really well, which we're very grateful for. But it's recognizing that people's property taxes bills have gone up because of the spike. Not everywhere around Colorado, by the way, but in certain parts of Colorado, people's tax bills spiked because the value of their property went up so much and was assessed so high. And so that's the legislature cut about $1 billion out of property taxes in the last session. Um, and we're hoping that there was a deal so that the folks who had put out at 50 and 108, which is just absolutely catastrophic cuts to everything, all the local services that you get, as well as to schools. They hope that that cut of $1 billion would keep that off the ballot. Well, it didn't. The proponent, including Michael Fields, decided that we were going to put these two measures, that they were going to put these two measures on, and that really would be devastating. I think they started realizing that they may not pass, and as a matter of fact, probably wouldn't pass, because when people understand how bad these would be for the things we care about for our communities, they would vote no. And so they started opening up conversations again to say, hey, you could cut property taxes a little bit more, legislature, and then we would take them off the ballot. I think I understand, like, the legislature and the governor thinking these are so bad that it's just too much of a risk to have them on the ballot, even if we think that they can be defeated. And so we better have that conversation, and let's try to have this conversation in a way that we're done. We're done talking about cutting property taxes. It's really sort of disturbing that they paid to get these ballot measures, all the signatures. They were all paid signatures, costs a couple $1 million to do it. And they can say, hey, you better have a special session or else. I mean, it feels a little bit like blackmail. But the legislature and folks who care about our communities are saying, we got to make sure if those passed, it would be so bad. We got to take this one step, but let's make sure this doesn't happen anymore. No more blackmailing. And so hopefully, if a deal is made, it won't hurt schools. I hope we're hoping and working with the legislature to make sure that further cuts won't hurt our schools, and that there's something permanent so that we're not in this place again. This is the third, I think, the third special session on this issue. So we need to put this issue to rest and help everybody understand, when you're paying those property taxes, that translates into the communities that we want, the safe and healthy and well-educated communities that we want.
If there was one thing you would hope someone watched and took away right now, what would that be? I'm going to take myself off and give you the moment.
Oh, no. Okay. The one most important thing that's coming out of this, I think that Initiative 50 and 108 will be taken off, because I think that the sponsors knew that they had to make a deal because they weren't going to pass. So the takeaway there is, we got to remember that when we pay taxes when our property taxes are paying for the things that make our communities great. And the second thing, and this one's really important, because 138, if it qualifies, is going to be on the ballot, and it's going to give folks this idea that it's about parent choice. But it's not. This constitutional measure is going to open the door to taking public dollars and giving them to private schools. Arizona's been down this road, and it has been devastating for our schools. So you'll be hearing from us saying no on amendment, whatever it's going to be, and we will certainly let you know. But defeating that is absolutely critical to stop the wolf at the door, which is privatization and this effort to undermine our schools, to promote this idea of privatization and this taking away the idea that our schools are for everybody. Public schools are a public good. We all benefit whether we have kids in them or not, and that's the American ideal that we need to defend this coming November.
So if I'm watching, I'm convinced. What can I do right now?
Well, Great Education Colorado is going to be doing our public education voter campaign. And so the best thing to do right now is, if you are not yet a member of our subscriber to our newsletter, go to greateducation.org. And at the very bottom, you can just scroll to the bottom and you can of any page and sign up to get our newsletters, because that's how we're going to get the word out. If you're watching this on Facebook or Insta, you probably maybe are following us already, but please, that's Max calling, please sign up there. You can find different ways. Our Advocates Network is a way to really get engaged. You see that in the top right-hand corner. If Annalise is going to put that link in, that is a really good way to stay connected to Great Education Colorado. Every month, you hear what's going on, how to get involved. We try to make this really easy to stay. There you go. You can sign up down there, or you can go up to the top and go to, let's see, there's Advocates Network right there, and sign up for next month's meeting. So we are at your disposal. You can contact us, right to info@greateducation.org if you have a question or if you want to have a presentation. We are all about getting this information out to as many people as possible to make sure that folks understand that some things that may sound good on the ballot really have the impact of hurting our public schools, and none of us want that.
Thanks, Lisa, so much. We are hopeful for a special session to look out for the best interests of the state of Colorado, right? And so
Absolutely.
I think
and
that's what we're, and of course the students who make it up, and the families, so we encourage everyone, go to our website, go to greateducation.org, like Lisa said, sign up for Advocates Network, get in the know, and there'll be other opportunities. And we'll see you next week, Lisa, live with Lisa.
Thanks, Annalise. Thank y'all.